Hey, Phil Mutry here, and welcome to today's video. Actually, you know what, hold on a sec. Professor Phil Mutry here, and welcome to today's video. Have you ever gone shopping and out of everything that you went to look for, or the specific item that you went to look for, was basically a really cheap and just really wasn't durable or anything really to write home to mom about, let alone even purchase it to own it for yourself? Well, yesterday was a proven day for me that actually happened. You see, yesterday I was out to find myself a whiteboard so I could do in-home presentations like I'm doing right now, to where I'd be able to write up on a whiteboard and be able to erase it to do a training the next day, or a training next week, a training 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. But what I found out there for whiteboards was pretty disappointing. I was really disappointed because they were pretty much all junk. I looked at one that was a $57 model. It was a 4 foot by 3 foot, and basically what it was, it had a wooden frame. I went around, and it was just a junk frame. You put that up on picture holders, and over a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, or even you just kind of nudge it once, and it would probably break. It was just flimsy frame. It was very cheap particle board, and the actual whiteboard itself was, it was like a wafer board really thin. But taking a closer look at it, when I turned it this way and I looked at it down this way, it was warped. It had a bend in it. So the next scale up was $110, $110 whiteboard, and it had an aluminum frame that went around it. And it was the same. It was the same cheap wafer board, but only this one, it was magnetic. So again, I took a look down it and it was warped. Then there was another one. It was around $210 for that. And for the $210 model, it was basically the same size. It was a 4 by 3, and again, it was warped. They had a warp in it. But then I found a really good one. It was a really nice model. It was 3 feet. It was 3 feet, actually 4 feet by 3 feet down, but it was a whiteboard on wheels. It was actually good quality. Very, very thick. It was a thick quality. It was magnetic. The only thing that I didn't like about it is it was $609. $609 for a whiteboard presentation board, a good quality one that you could just wheel around. Wheels didn't make anything significant for me, but quality in something is really key to me. I like to get good quality for the price. $609 for a whiteboard to do presentations on, that to me is a little much. So, as being as disappointed as I was on my way back home, and then all of a sudden I had one of these aha moments, and I got thinking, you know, Home Depot carries this mixture, this paint mixture for making melamine, and what you can do is you can paint it on a board. So what I did when I got back to the office is I actually brought it up on the internet, and I took a look at reviews. It had very bad reviews. It was recommended not to get that product. So I kind of got back to square one. But then I got thinking, you know, lumber yards, they sell doors that are melamine coated. They're already pre-coated, a door. But then I thought, you know, they probably do have 4 by 8 sheets of melamine that are particle board, that are a good 1 inch thick, and they're already come with melamine on it. So what I did is I made a call to my local lumber yard, and guess what? Sure enough, they had 4 by 4 sheets, and they had 4 by 8 sheets. Now I didn't need a 4 by 8 sheet, but what I was interested in was getting a 4 by 4, and I could just cut it off down at the bottom so that it wasn't 4 by 4 and bring it up to about 4 by 3 or a little more than 4 by 3. And then I would be able to have a really, really nice sturdy board that I could go right to the wall, and it would be stationary all the time, and it wouldn't be warped. So thus, what you see behind me is a $12 investment. So remember, we had our first board, our first whiteboard, was like about, well, we'll just round it off to 60 bucks. It was 60 bucks. And then we looked at the next one up. Number 2 was, it was like about 110. And then we had the one on wheels. Was 609 bucks. And when I called the lumber yard, and I got this board here, so we got the melamine board, 4x4, and it cost me $12. $12 for that board. Now, the one thing that I didn't like about the board was around the edges here, it was basically no color. It was just a color of wood. So what did I do to remedy that? So, well, that's a good question. I'll show you what I did to remedy that. I went and I got a $6 can, actually $7 can of trim-clad rust paint, flat white. And I picked up this little sponge brush for $1. So for $8, I got this little sponge painter brush thingy here and the trim-clad paint. And what I did is I went around the edge. I put it up on a, just propped it up, and then I went around on the edge. And I let it dry overnight. So we got our trim-clad paint, which was $7, and we got our brush, which was an extra $1. So what do we got? We got 20 bucks. So over here on this side, we got this whiteboard that was really cheap quality for like 57 bucks, 57, 60 bucks in there. Then we had another bad quality one for 110, and they were all warped. And then we had this one that was on wheels right here. That was a good deal, but for 609 bucks, I think my little investment over here to make my presentation board for 20 bucks was a pretty darn good deal. Now, how many of you like food? I love food. I love steak and I love seafood. I love lobster. And have you ever heard of a Ruth Chris Steakhouse? They're flippin' amazing. They are so good. I love their ribeye steaks with their Caribbean lobster tail. And to get that meal, probably run you about 72 bucks to get that Caribbean lobster tail with it. Sometimes they have Atlantic, but it's an amazing meal. A ribeye steak is about a 36 ounce with the bone in, bone on, and a Caribbean lobster tail. It's flippin' amazing. It's one of the best steakhouses out there. Well, let's just take it one step further. Since I love steak and lobster tail so much, we got this $609 investment over here. Now, with my $20 investment to make this board here for myself, instead of spending that 609 bucks, and because I love 36 ounce ribeye steaks with the bone on and lobster tails, do you know that with my savings of getting a $609 great board on wheels, I just am able to get myself 8 ribeye steak and Caribbean lobster tail dinner. 8 of them. I can get 8 36 ounce ribeye steak dinners with a Caribbean lobster tail based on the savings and what I paid for 20 bucks for this whiteboard. Next time you go shopping and you've got a disappointment with your shopping, think about alternate ways that you can do the project yourself. Do it yourself, save a whack of money, and be able to create 8 gourmet 36 ounce ribeye steak dinners with lobster tails based on the savings that you had as a result. I hope this video brought great value for you today, and I look forward to bringing you more value as the days to come. Talk soon.